Let's begin on the back of your yoga mat in child's pose. You can set your knees out wide, reach your hands out away from you if that feels good, or you can stack your hands and set your forehead on the ground. Take a deep breath in and exhale and sigh it out as the weight of existential dread slowly smushes you into the floor. Keep your face relaxed as you just breathe into your stomach. We're going to be doing a slower paced flow today because if you're anything like what I'm feeling right now, you're going to be feeling not so great and wanting to go kind of slow. Reach your hands out in front of you if they aren't already, and then walk your hands over to one side a little bit to stretch into your side. Then we'll come back to center and walk your hands over to the other side. And then let's come back to center. Sink down for another second. Take another breath. And from here, we're going to come into all fours, taking your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees under your hips. You can tuck your toes if that feels okay. And if this is kind of bothering your wrists, you can come into fists or shift your weight back a little bit so it's more on your hips and less on your hands. If this feels okay, though, we're going to take a cat-cow. So inhale, drop your stomach, lift your chin. Exhale, round your back, bring your chin to your chest. Inhale, drop your stomach, lift your chin. And exhale, chin to your chest and round. Take your time here, just moving kind of at your own pace. Let's do one more. And then we'll come to center and kind of do the same thing, but this time going side to side. So you're going to bring your shoulder closer to your hip on one side and then shoulder close to your hip on the other. So you're just doing this little scrunchy side bend, getting a little bit of motion side to side. Good. And we'll come back to center. Shift your hips back again. Elbows come down to the ground. So this time we're going to be sitting up and not all the way down in a child's pose. You're going to flip your hands over so your palms are facing up. And you're just going to curl your fingers towards your elbow pit, trying to get a little stretch in the back of your hand before you release. And if that feels good and you want to stick with that, you'll just do that. If you want a little extra, you can lift your hands, stretching the back of your hand, and then reach your fingers toward the base of your palm. None of the variations that we do today are better or worse than any other. So today I just want you to focus on finding something that feels like enough and feels like it's right for you. Let's go ahead and release that. Flip your hands so your palms are back toward the ground, coming back to all fours. This time we're going to take our fingertips so they're facing out to the sides and rock side to side. If that feels like enough, you'll stay there. If you want a little extra, you can spin your fingers around so they're pointing back toward your knees and rocking back and forth, or maybe going in some circles, depending on what feels right now. If you're going in circles, you can change direction. And then we'll come back to center. Flip your hands around so your fingertips are facing forward. Tuck your toes. We're going to press into our feet, lift our hips up, straighten into a downward dog, and pedal out your feet. Relax your face, relax your jaw. And don't worry about getting your heels all the way toward the mat. When you're ready, lift your heels, bring your knees down, and then we're going to go into a down dog. So just gently setting your hips down on the ground. I'm sorry, I think I said down dog. I meant to say up dog. You're going to straighten. You're going to bring your elbows to the ground, lifting your chest up, pulling your chest through your shoulders. Breathing deeply. Maybe shifting a little side to side if that feels okay. Next, we're going to drop ourselves down so that your head comes onto your stacked hands, so you're not breathing in the ground. Then you're going to take one leg and you're going to kick your heel up towards your butt. I don't want you to fully send it or tighten your hamstring a whole bunch. Just do a little kick and then release. And then kick the other side and release. And we're just going to alternate like that, a little walk. If that feels okay and you want a little bit more, you can kick both feet at the same time. And if that feels like enough, you can stay there, or you can kick your feet up and rock them a little bit side to side. Go ahead and come back to center. Feet down toward the ground. Take your hands into your shoulders. Press yourself up a little bit. Then we'll press into our knees to come back to all fours. Clarify your feet however you need. And then we're going to press back up into a down dog. Tucking your toes. Bring your hips up toward the ceiling. If it feels okay here, you can pedal out your feet. And then when you're ready, you're going to take a walk 1 foot at a time up toward your hands. You can bend your knees as much as you need and take your feet as wide as you need. And then you're going to come into a fold. Once you reach that fold, you're going to keep your knees nice and soft so your torso can rest on your thighs. Again, feet are as wide as they need to be. Take a deep inhale in and exhale out. Go ahead and stay here for a second. Sway from side to side. And when you're ready, soft knees, and you're going to roll all the way up to stand. Hands are going to come up, and then hands are going to dive down. You're going to follow, coming back down into a fold, soft knees. From here, you're going to go ahead and step your left foot back, right foot stays forward. That back knee comes down on the ground, and your hands stay on the ground. Some people will be comfortable with their foot in between their hands. Other people might be comfortable with their foot outside their hands. Just take this wherever is comfortable for you and let your hips sink forward. And if you want to do some wiggles, like I always do, you can move from side to side or forward and back. Just see what feels right for your body right now or today. If this feels like enough, you stay here. If you want a little extra, you can try and pick your back foot off the ground a little bit, or maybe a lot of a bit. And if you try it and it doesn't move at all, don't worry about it. Because bodies are weird and sometimes that happens. When you're ready, we'll come out of this. We're going to go back to all fours. So you're going to take this front foot, step it back. So you're in that all fours position. Take a second to wiggle around here. If you need to get off of your wrists, you can do that. And then when you're ready, we're going to drop ourselves down so our belly's on the ground, stacking your hands. This time, see if we can start by kicking both feet up toward your hips. And if you want to rock from side to side, you can try that here. Good. Now we'll come to center, extend your legs, and then we're going to come back into that all fours position. Once we find that all fours position, we're going to tuck our toes, come up to a down dog. Take a second here, and then we're going to take a walk. Our feet mosey up to our hands. Maybe it feels a little bit better than the first time. Maybe it feels the same. I don't know. Once you get into that fold, your knees stay nice and soft. Deep breath in. And exhale. Soft knees roll you up. Once you get up, arms float up, and then they dive back down, back into that fold. This time the other leg is going to step back. That's going to be your right leg, coming into that lunge with your knee on the ground. Take a second here to settle in. If you're not feeling super comfortable on your wrists, you can always come into fists or grab dumbbells or blocks or something to put your hands on. And take your time here. We never need to be in a hurry. That's not true. Sometimes we do, but not right now. Go ahead and shift and twist into your hips. And then if you'd like to add on to this, you can take that back foot and kick your heel up towards your butt, only as far as it wants to go. And if it doesn't want to go at all, let it not go. It's okay. The world is already kind of bleak and scary. A lot more than we really want it to be. So I think it's worthwhile to try and make taking care of yourself and being in your own body a nice experience. So we don't have to be great at things. We just have to try them and suck at them and then be a little bit better next time. Let's go ahead and come back to all fours. Get your hands under your shoulders, sink out of your hips, scoot that leg back, and then we're going to go ahead and make our way down to lay on our stomach. This time, we're going to take our elbows underneath our shoulders, pulling our chest through, and lift your chin. Try not to slump into your shoulders, but keep your shoulders away from your ears. And then we'll do a little kick one leg up and the other leg and alternate if that feels okay. Let's go to both feet if that's not enough and you'd like a little more. And let's do one more. And then we're going to go ahead and release our arms, take our hands underneath our shoulders, press ourselves up and back into a child's pose. Knees are out wide. Arms can be extended or hands can be stacked. Take a second here. Notice if this feels different than the first time. Taking some deep breaths into your stomach. From here, let's go ahead and walk ourselves up, either into all fours or to seated, and we're going to make our way down to sit on our butt. So you can stay at the back of the mat. I'm going to switch my orientation so you can see me a little bit better. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and come into a figure four. So you're going to take one leg either straight ahead or out to the side. Other leg is going to bend and come into your inner thigh. If you're feeling very, very, very tight, take a pillow or a yoga block and go ahead and sit on it because that'll help you feel better. From here, we're just going to turn our torso and lean over our extended leg. Things might be really tight today. If that's the case, you might lean into it a little bit more and come back and kind of pulse in and out of that stretch. Or if you have more room, you can reach for your foot and hold the stretch. Neither's better or worse. It's just what makes sense for you today. And then we're going to roll out of that, come more to the middle so our chest is facing forward, and fold forward as far as is comfortable. If you're more flexible, that might come really easily. And if you're less flexible, you might be up a little higher. Both are fine. Because like we were thinking about earlier, the important thing isn't that we reach an arbitrary standard. It's that we spend some time doing something that's right for our body today. When you're ready, we're going to come out of that forward reach. And then you're going to take the same hand as the extended leg and it's going to go to your side. I like to do behind my leg because that feels the most comfortable. You might find something different. And then you're going to take the opposite arm. It's going to reach up and over. So you're getting a side stretch here. If things are feeling pretty snug, you might just be able to lift your arm and do a little tiny reach. That's totally cool. If that's enough, you stay there. If you'd like a little more, you can reach closer and closer to your foot. You might also notice that one side is tighter than the other. That's really normal. This is my tight side. I can't go as far, and that just is how it is. We don't need to judge it. We just need to respect it. When you're ready, we'll come out of that. If you want to take a little reach in the other direction, that can feel good. And then we're going to go ahead and switch sides. So extend the other leg, draw this other foot in. We're going to twist our chest to face our foot and do a little reach forward. Again, maybe we're pulsing, rocking in and out of the stretch, or maybe we're doing a bigger stretch. Just see what's right for you today. And a reminder not to force it, If you see that I'm doing something different than you, or maybe I can reach a little farther than you, please don't beat yourself up about that. Because whether or not somebody else is more flexible than you doesn't mean that stretching isn't worth doing. And just because somebody might be farther along than you doesn't mean that you're doing badly. Let's go ahead and rock ourselves up, back to center. Chest is going to face forward, and then we're going to rock forward. Too often I think that things like stretching and exercise can make us endlessly feel like we're not good enough and like we have to pursue more. And while I think that improving is fantastic, and we should definitely be trying to slowly over time get better at things that are important to us, I think that there's also a ton of value in just being able to be okay with where you're at right now and meet yourself wherever that is. Let's go ahead and walk out of this stretch. You're going to take this side stretch next. Hand comes to the side of the extended leg. Opposite arm reaches up and over. This time in this reach, try and find what feels like enough, not what feels like something you should be doing. When you're ready, we're going to come back out of this. Maybe do a little opposition reach if that feels okay. And then we're going to come back to center, bend the extended leg, and bring both feet closer to your hips for a butterfly. If you're feeling very crunched up and your knees are kind of in your armpits, this is a great time to sit on maybe another pillow or add that pillow back in, because that'll help this feel a little bit nicer and you'll actually be able to stretch better in it. If you feel comfortable here and you want to add on, you can rock a little side to side. And then we'll go ahead and move forward. So we'll come back to center. And if this feels like enough, you stay here. If you want a little extra, think about sitting up tall and reaching your chest forward, maybe even pushing your elbows into your knees a little bit. If you're feeling pretty tight, you've probably got a good amount of stretch in your groin or inner thigh area, and that's cool. And that area can be a little bit challenging to stretch, and it really, consistency is really going to help a lot more than really trying to shove and get the biggest, deepest stretch you can. You never really want to push your inner thighs too much. Just give them some time, and they'll get to where you need them to be. When you've had enough of that, let's come back to center. You're going to take one leg and extend it. You're going to take the other leg and cross it over. If you can get your foot of this crossed over leg flat on the ground, you can do that. If not, don't worry about it. And then we're going to take a little twist. So you're going to take your arm, fly it over your knee. Inhale sits you up tall. Exhale, twist from your navel. Keep your jaw relaxed. Don't forget to breathe. brings you back to center. Go ahead and switch legs. One leg straightens, the other leg bends over. Walk your arm over your knee and twist. Inhale brings you back to center. And you're just going to go ahead and gather up your legs and roll and tuck your chin to your chest and roll super slowly down to the ground. If there was a spot in there where you kind of lost it and kerplunked really fast down to the ground, don't worry about it. Just keep your chin tucked into your chest. From here, we're just going to settle laying on our backs. Let your arms fall wherever they need to. Let your legs go wherever feels comfortable. Close down your eyes. Take a deep breath into your stomach. And exhale out through your mouth. Again, big breath in. And big exhale out. I want to say thank you for you spending the time here with me today and taking this time to take care of yourself. It can be hard to make the time, and it can be hard to prioritize ourselves, especially when everything else feels really heavy and hectic. And I think that's when it's more important to take care of ourselves. Something I tell myself a lot is that taking care of myself allows me to better take care of other people. And if I want to be in a community that helps each other, then I have to be in a place where I can help too. So thank you for being here. And I appreciate you. And I hope you feel even just a little bit better than when you started. You can stay here as long as you like. And I hope you really are able to do something enjoyable for the rest of your day.